Hi everyone, Deb here from Star Yoga. So this class is for people who have kids, or maybe you're a grandparent and you look after your grandchildren, or aunties or uncles that may look after their nieces and nephews on a regular basis. So it's all about working on strengthening and stretching our back. So there is a little bit of a focus on the lower back, the lumbar spine, because that's where we tend to feel it when we're constantly picking up our children or picking up after them. But then we also work through the thoracic and the cervical spine as well in the class. So a really good class to do if you do suffer from a sore lower back. I probably wouldn't recommend this class if you have really intense lower back pain, just because I just want you to stay safe. So maybe if there is something going on with slip discs and things like that, don't do this class. But if you just have sort of like a tightness in your lower back, or it just gets a little bit sore from time to time, this class will be perfect for you. And it is good for beginners too. When I say beginners, I mean maybe you've done a little bit of yoga in the past, or recently not much. If you're brand new to yoga, you've never done a class before, I wouldn't recommend doing this class, just because I don't give a lot or too many alignment cues. So maybe start with an online beginners class first, so you get an idea of what's going on, and then you can come and do this class maybe after a week or so. But perfect for anyone who has some idea of what yoga is and has done some in the past. So I've got dog hair all over my mat, and it is quite cold today even in this room, so I do have this little fan heater on. So if you hear a new, I just can't bring myself to turn it off, that's what it is, but I may turn it off as we continue through the class. Okay, so let's start. And just to let you know, if there's any regulars that might be doing the class, it's not a vinyasa flow. It's more hatha based, where we just move through each pose. We're not adding on or sequencing or anything like that. But we're using our breath obviously as we're doing all our classes. So yeah, but no sort of flow or anything. So that's why it's also good for beginners. Alright, so let's begin in a nice comfortable seat. Now, for those that might be brand new or new-ish to yoga, you may find that sitting in a cross-leg seat is not comfortable for you. So if you have a block handy, even just grab a block now, or even a couple of big books, you can actually sit up on the block, or even a rolled up blanket or dressing gown or sweatshirt or something. And that will just give you a little bit of a tilt in the pelvis and make it slightly easier for you through your hips to be able to sit. I'll sit up on my block for this part. And if you find it hard to bend through your knees in this one, you can even just have your legs out, straight out in front, and you can do this breathing exercise with them there. Or you can even sit in a chair if that's more comfortable for you. So let's just come to find your comfortable seat. Close the eyes. Take a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Just bringing the awareness to our breath, and trying to carry the awareness for our breath through the remainder of the class. Bringing the awareness into each pose we come into. And whatever you do, you make sure you don't hold your breath with the pose. You breathe into the pose and keep breathing. And just do a few more rounds, breathing nice and deep in through the nose, out through the nose. 2 more breaths. Opening up the eyes. Take your blanket or block out from underneath you and roll over onto your knees. I'm going to come straight into a child's pose. So bring your big toes to touch and your knees back distance apart and start to sink your hips down towards your heels. If you find that this feels a little uncomfortable through your legs and knees, you can roll up your blanket or even a towel and place it horizontally underneath there, underneath your knees, and it'll just help slightly. So we lower the hips down, stretch your arms out long in front, and then you can also use your block in this one. I'll use my block. Bring your forehead down to your block and hold here. So we'll do a few of these child's poses throughout the class, and this just helps relieve any tension in the back. It's also a really soothing and introspective pose to do. It's nice and calming. I'm just going to stay here for 5 rounds of breath from now. Slowly rising your head up, and just push your block or books or whatever you may be using over to the side, and then start to walk your hands over to the right side and feel a stretch through the left side of your body. Up to you whether you have your forehead down or you can gaze in between your hands. Just make sure your shoulders draw back and down away from your ears. 5 breaths here. Always inhaling and exhaling through the nose rather than the mouth. Walk your hands over to the left. Stretch out nice and long through the right side of your body. Forehead comes down or gaze in between your hands. 5 breaths. And walk your hands back into centre. They're about shoulder distance apart, fingers displayed wide. Come up into your tabletop, and then just move your knees back slightly. And we're going to do some hip circles. So looking forward, just tuck my top in. Looking forward, knees come back. And start to circle the hips around to the left. So do 5 in one direction and then switch. I'll let you do these in your own time. Moving nice and slowly. Come back to your tabletop position. Stretch out long through your right foot. Extend your leg out behind you. Toes come down to the mat. raise that right leg up. So just so it looks like you're forming a nice straight line from the heel of the foot to the crown of the head. So not too high, not too low. If you are new, you may just find a couple of centimetres off the ground is enough for you. And lower your right foot down, stretch out long through the left leg, extend it back, push through the heel, toes to the earth. Lift that leg up, nice straight line from the heel of the foot to the crown of the head. Taking in some nice deep inhales and releasing out through some nice long exhales. Lower the left foot down. Let's work the core a little bit. So we want to have a good mix of strength and flexibility through our spines. So we need to build the strength and have a nice strong back, because that'll make us less prone to injury. And we also want to have a nice strong core, because this also helps us become less susceptible to injury. So we're just going to warm up the core. So extend your right arm out straight in front and your left leg. Flex the toes back towards your face, and you're in a balanced tabletop. Let's hold here. At any point, if any of the poses get a little too much for you, you can just come to rest back into your tabletop or a child's pose. So don't feel like you have to stay with me if you are brand new and you need to have a break here and there. 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now keep your leg and your arm raised and draw your elbow into your knee on your inhale. Exhale, extend everything out nice and long. Inhale, draw everything in. Exhale, extend. Inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale, extend, lost my balance, lower down. Extend your right leg out, your left arm, nice and strong. Just pull up through your lower and upper abdominal locks. So nice strong core as you hold, lengthening out through the spine as well. Let's go elbow to knee, inhale, draw it in, round, nice and slow. Exhale, extend it out. Inhale, draw the elbow in. Exhale, extend. Don't worry if your elbow doesn't quite touch your knee, that's fine. Come back in. Extend out. So move nice and slowly through the poses, really working into the entire spine. Come back to your tabletop. Let's do another 5 hip circles. So round to the right 5 times and then round to the left. You can move your hips as far forward and as far back as you like. Good, come back to your tabletop. Maybe just walk your knees in slightly. And then bring your toes to touch, knees mat distance, pull back into that extended child's pose again. Feel free to grab the towel, the blanket and place it underneath your knees if that feels better for you. Lower the head down. coming up nice and slowly. And we're just going to lower all the way down onto our bellies. So bring your knees back towards the back of your mat once more. Look forward, have your elbows into your rib cage. Lower down as slowly as you can. All the way down, all the way down. Good. And when you get there, your fingertips are in line with the top of your shoulders. Hug your elbows into the sides of your body. We'll just do a couple of little baby cobras. This is working on strengthening the lower back. And you'll feel your pelvis and belly work together to compress and support your lower back as well. So we inhale, lift our chest up, gently pressing into the earth. Draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, hug your elbows into the sides. Lift up, broaden through your collarbones. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. We just do 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. If there's any sharpness, twinges or pain, please don't do this pose. You can just stay resting on your belly if you like and skip it, or you don't have to come up as high. You may just be here, and that might be enough for you to feel it in that lower back. What I don't want you to do though is to come up so high that you can't lift your hands up off the mat. So by that I mean you inhale up and then you're coming up all the way up here. Fair enough if you maybe have a more of an intense intermediate to advanced practice. Feel free to come up as high as you like if you know your body and that's what you can do. But for most of us, I just want you to come up to that point where you can lift your hands up off the mat. If you come up to here, you're not going to be able to lift them up. Lower down. Push yourself back up to a tabletop, then come back into your child's pose. Now this is your best friend throughout this class, releasing the lower back. You should be able to feel this from all those little back bends we've just done. Lengthening out through the spine. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Come back up to your tabletop. Come into downward facing dog. So spread your fingers nice and wide, shoulder distance apart. Tuck your toes, lift your hips high to the sky, and then draw your heels down into the earth. Walk this one out. Always like to walk the first one out, so bend one knee and then bend the other. For the newbies, if you find that this is always going to be quite an intense pose to start with, you can always just lower down to a tabletop at any point and take a break and wait for the next pose, or you can just come back up when you're ready. Let's hold here, so lengthening out nice and long through the spine, wrapping the triceps in towards the sides of our head. It's okay if you've got bent knees. Now look towards your hands. We're going to tiptoe nice and slowly. So come up high to the balls of the feet. Tiptoe all the way up to the front of the mat. If you have a block or books or whatever, grab that now. If you don't, that's fine. You can do it without those props. The props just help support you and just help the pose helps the pose feel a little bit better. So from here with your block, start to bring the block over to the right side and you'll feel, so you want to keep your legs, your little micro bend in your knees. You want to keep the lower part of your body body relatively straight to the front of your mat, and you're just going to give a slight twist of your torso, so over to the right. And you may find it feels better if you have bent knees in this one. So just play around with your legs. And you should actually feel it through the entire left leg as well. One more breath. Bring the block round to the front and bring it over to the left. And come back to centre. Bring the block out in front. Draw your shoulders back and down. Broaden through your collarbones. Look forward. Feel it through the backs of the hamstrings. And bend your knees, put your block to your side. Inhale, bring your arms forward as you come all the way up to standing. Arms are above your head. Exhale, bring the palms to touch and bring them down to heart center. Let's take a couple of rounds of breath here. So breathe it in as you extend your arms out to the side and bring them up to the sky, palms together. Exhale as you bring them down to heart center. Inhale, extend them wide, look up. Exhale, draw them down to heart center. Inhale, extend, rise up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale. Exhale down to heart center. Bring your hands to your hips and step your left leg back long. We're coming into a crescent lunge. So you're high on the ball of the back foot. What I often see in face-to-face classes is people have their foot in a warrior one position in a crescent lunge with their foot flat on the mat. So crescent lunge, your toes are pointing to the front of the mat. Extend out long through the back leg. You can have a bend in your knee. You feel this through your hip flexor, through your building strength in your front quad as well. So even though we're working on the spine, still need to have a little bit of strength through your legs, especially when we're doing all those squats, when we're picking our children up 5,000 times a day. And we're getting into drawers and cupboards, eating dirt. Okay, let's hold for one more breath. Now keep your legs where they are. Option here for anyone who is new, because we're just going to come into a new pose with crescent lunge leg, is to drop your back knee down. So if you find that holding that crescent lunge is getting a little too much for you, drop the back knee. I'm going to come back up. Inhale, your arms come forward and up. Exhale, bend at the elbows. Cactus your arms. Chest starts to point up towards the sky. And you might want to come into a little baby back bend here. So working on strengthening the back. You don't need to bend back too far. So just a slight little tilt. One more breath. And bring your hands to your hips. Now everyone drop their back knee down. Bring your hands behind you and interlace your fingers. So your back toes are tucked. Draw your shoulder blades back and down together. Broaden out through your chest. Look up maybe. Hold here. Breathing nice and deep. So we're doing quite a few back extensions. When we come down to a seat later on, we'll do lots of forward bends, so flexion. Release your hands, bring them to your hips. Come into a half split, it's not as scary as it sounds. So extend out long through your front foot. If you have your block or even two blocks or books, you can place one hand on either side on either block or books, or even just one hand you can hold here if you don't want to use the block. We're going to do this pose with a nice straight spine, so rather than rounding forward trying to bring the head down towards the leg, keep your chest lifted, feel a slight tilt from your hips as you come forward. You're not going to be coming forward down too low. Hold here, you can feel it through the hamstrings, working with our backs as well, building that strength, holding, breathing. Bring your torso back up, bring that front foot back, bend at the knee. So you're on your knees. If you find that this is sensitive on your knees, feel free to place a blanket underneath your knees, or you can even roll your mat up and rest it on your knees. If you like, I'll just stay here, since I'm here. I'm going to come into Strasana pose, camel pose. So I'll give you some options. Now, most of us that do have sore backs from picking up our kids, you may just find that just by placing your hands on your lower back, with your fingertips pointing down to the earth on your sacrum, just resting, you'll feel that kind of bony bit and just above your hips, just resting here, slightly pushing your pelvis forward and looking up is enough. So it might just be, yep, oh, I can feel that. That's fine. Especially if your back is super sore and sensitive, just hold here. So we're working on opening up out through the front of the body and then building strength through our back extension. If any intermediate or advanced people practicing today, feel free to come into full camel. I'm just going to hold here though. So try to draw your elbows in together. Get more of a openness through the chest. One more breath. Beautiful, and release. Down, roll your mat up. Once again, back into your extended child's pose. Arms come out in front. You should feel that through your lower back, just from that little back bend we did. Okay, not here for long. We come back up into tabletop, back to down dog, moving through the same poses on the other side. Let's just stay here in our down dog or your tabletop if you like to stay there. Walk it out. And then come to find some stillness here. Inhaling nice and deep, still through the nose and out through the nose. Look towards the hands, tiptoe all the way up. Try to lift your hips up nice and high to the sky when you tiptoe. Use your core. See if you can get your feet as close to your hands or straight legs as possible. Hold here, so stay down low. Bring your feet about hip distance apart and come into ragdoll. Take opposite elbows. Bend your knees as generously as you like and sway your elbows from side to side. And releasing out through the spine. Release your hands down into a forward fold. Bend your knees nice and deep if that feels better. And bring your hands to your hips. Try to rise up nice and slow so you don't get a head rush. And step your right foot back. So your left foot's in front for your crescent lunge. Bending through the front leg, working on getting the front thigh parallel to the ground. However, if you're not quite there yet, that's fine. Just work with what your body can do today. Maybe tomorrow it can come down lower. up me up higher. You can bend through that front knee. Just move that block away. Pushing out through the back heel, high on the foot, holding here. If you feel wobbly, move your left foot out to the outside of your mat a little further. My mat feels slippery today. Remember, you can drop that back knee down to the earth and stay in that very low lunge. Inhale your arms forward and up. Exhale, cactus, your arms bend at the elbow. Either staying here, just pushing your elbows back towards the back wall, or maybe sinking down a little lower and coming into a tiny, tiny little back bend. Building strength, working on our balance as well. Look up to the sky. Remembering to breathe. Good, bring your hands to your hips. Now lower your back leg down. Moving into our half splits. You can use your blocks on either side. So extend out long through the front leg. Just feel your hips underneath your hands, square them towards the mat. Lower your torso flat back down, quarter of the way or halfway, so you can feel that length through the spine. Keep your hands on your hips, or if you have your blocks or books on either side. Slide that front foot back into your camel's pose again. So I'm not going to roll my mat up for my knees this time. Hands come behind you, place them on your lower back, point the fingers down to the earth. You can tuck your toes if you like. Gently look up, open up out through the chest. Push the pelvis forward gently, hold here. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. 3 more breaths. And lower your sitting bones, your bum down to your heels, back into our favourite pose of this class, a child pose. Slide your hands out. Always got the option of putting your forehead on the block. Taking a moment here just to notice how your back feels. It feels a little sensitive after doing the camel back bend. It's pretty normal. Noticing any sensations. Now, move your block away, draw your knees in just slightly, and then just lower down onto your belly. I'm going to come into locust pose, and we're going to do this 3 times. So this is actually one of the safest back bend poses you can do. And there was actually a study done by Harvard University that found that those that did suffer from lower back pain, by doing this pose on a regular basis, it actually alleviated a lot of that pain. It's a really good one to do for our lower backs. So bring your lips down to your mat, bring your arms alongside you with your palms facing down. Feet are about hip distance apart. You'll feel this more intensely if your feet are wider, and even more so if your feet are closer together. So hip distance is probably ideal. So when we come into this, we're going to do 3 rounds. The first round, just come up about 30%, next round 60%, and last round give it all you can. Once again, if you do have a super sensitive lower back, maybe just take it easy, just lift up slightly. You don't want to sort of aggravate anything or make it worse. So you can just do little tiny lifts. So lips to mat. Inhale, we lift the feet up, lift the arms up, press the belly and the pelvis into your mat. Just hold only about 30% of the way up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Arms come in, right ear to mat. Taking in a few rounds of nice deep breaths. Let's do another round, coming up about 60% of the way this time. Inhale, lift the feet, lift the arms, come up, come up, come up, broaden through your shoulder blades. Shoulder blades, collarbones. You know what I mean. Look up, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left ear to mat. You can even bring your hands in, use them as a little pillow if you prefer that. Coming back to center. Last round. Inhale, lift everything up, and then exhale. Remembering to breathe as we're holding. Don't hold your breath, especially in this pose. Lifting up, reaching back through the fingertips, through the toes. Lifting, reaching, lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down, right ear to mat. Bring your hands back in, fingertips in line with your shoulders, tuck your toes, push yourself back to a tabletop, and then back into our child's pose. This is going to feel really great after doing that locust pose. Extend the arms out, head comes down. Good, now come into some forward bends. Now, so we've worked on a lot of our strength work with our back extensions. Now for anyone who has super sensitive low back, feel free to, when we come into our forward folds and bends, to sit up on something. So this will just give you a little bit more of an openness through your hips if in pelvis, if you're able to tilt forward more. So you can sit on a blanket or a block, and you might find that helps. So we're going to come into, what are we doing? Okay, we'll do, so the right leg extends out long, and then you draw your left foot into your right inner thigh. Now you'll feel this through the left side of your lower back straight away. Feel free to have that bent knee. Once again, really super sensitive, sore lower backs. You might just want to stay up quite high and just fold forward a tiny little bit and just hold. So I wouldn't recommend coming all the way down. Bring your hands to your hips and gently turn your torso so it's facing your toes. Flex your toes back towards your face. Inhale, your arms come up, and then exhale as you fold down over that leg. Just allow your spine to have that roundness in minute as you bring your head down. Feel free to even just place your arm on your block if you like. Hold here. Slowly coming up, nice and gently. Extend the other leg out. Draw the right foot in to the left inner thigh. Another option, I should mention this at the start, is if that knee is quite high up off the ground, you can always rest a block under the blanket, jersey, whether you've got. You can have that knee bent, remember. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale all out as we fold forward. You don't have to grab onto anything. You can let your palms face up towards the sky. Set that spine round. You might feel it through the right lumbar spine, lower back down there. Let's come into a forward fold here. Bring both legs out in front. And with this one, we're going to flex the toes back towards our face, and you're going to have engagement through your quads. So draw everything in nice and tight. Once again, you can have bent knees and you can sit on a bolster, block or blanket if you want to feel more of a tilt forward with your pelvis. May feel better for you to do it that way. Inhale, your arms come up. Exhale, now keep yourself open through your chest as you fold forward. So you want to feel the tip come from your hips rather than your head diving down. With your hands, you can place them wherever they fall. It could be around your big toes or the sides of your feet. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. So feel length through your spine rather than rounding it this time. Maybe feel it through the hamstrings and through the calves. Engagement of the quads. It's not about getting your head down to your toes in this forward fold. It's about finding that length. Maybe lower down a little bit, just without compromising the spine. So nice, flat back, straight spine if you can, rather than rounding. 2 more breaths. Okay, and come out nice and slowly. We're just going to come into a strengthening pose and also for a little bit of release through the lower back. So come into a bent knees, feet flat on the ground, feet about hip distance apart, hands come behind you with the fingertips pointing away, and then turn your fingertips back and around so they're facing you. Coming into a reverse tabletop, working on all the muscles in the back, extensor muscles. So we in the backs of our bodies, so it's not just our backs but our legs as well and arms. Inhale, and if you're quite new to practicing, you may find you can just come up to here, or if you have injuries, etc., you may just find a little lift is all you need. That could be enough for you. So don't feel like you have to come all the way up. You just listen to your body and do what it tells you it can do rather than forcing it. Inhale, lift your hips up once again. Chest starts to lift up towards the sky. The hips come up. You'll feel it through your triceps and biceps as well. Pressing gently into the earth with the heels of the feet. If it's okay with your neck, you can drop your head back. And hold here, remembering awareness of your breath. You can always drop down whenever you feel you've had enough. Lower the hips down. And bring your arms around your knees. Tuck your knees tightly into your chest. Curl yourself down into a little ball. You can feel that rounding now. Move straight into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. However, we're going to do this with a straight back rather than rounding the spine in this one. So bring your soles of your feet into touch and slowly draw your feet in towards you. Interlace your fingers around your feet. Don't worry about how high your legs are up off the mat, doesn't matter. Maybe bounce your knees up and down a couple of times. Come to find some stillness here. If you do want to come forward, still try to keep that nice lengthening of the back rather than rounding. So you may want to bring an elbow, both elbows down to your shins. And the way we do that is by looking forward, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Holding here. So all these poses I find really help with my back. Like I've said in my Facebook post, especially after having Ari, I've noticed my back gets sore a lot more. Never really did get sore before I had him, but now there are days where it's like, oh God, my back, why is my back sore? It's because I'm lifting up my 10 kilo baby. I think he's 10 kilos, might be more than that. I'm just looking at him now, he's asleep. Still asleep. On the monitor, it is, it's not just me. Okay, coming up. Just going to do a little twist here, a little bit of spinal rotation. Bring your knees in and then draw your left knee into your right sitting bone. Cross your right foot over your left knee. Inhale your left arm up. Feel that nice lengthening through the side of your body. Bring the elbow across and drop the hand down to the thigh. Look at the wall straight ahead or over your shoulder. So a twist can feel really good to do after doing lots of extensions and flexions of the spine. It just helps to release any tension. Slowly coming back, uncrossing, changing sides, left foot over right. And you really want to find that length through the side of the body. And then, so you want to just kind of stabilize your torso. You're twisting more from your thoracic spine, the middle part. upper or lower part here. Drop the hand down, look straight or look over the shoulder. Coming back to center. We come down onto our backs. We bend both knees in front. And just place your fingertips pointing towards you, lower one forearm down and then the other. Let's come into bridge. There is an option here for supported bridge. So you can grab your block or book. We're going to lift our hips up and you can place it underneath, just sitting on that lower part of your sacrum. You may just find, yep, oh, that feels really good. I'm just going to hold here. Hands come alongside, palms flat on the ground. Just make sure your toes aren't turned out or turned in too much. They're nice and parallel. You can stay in your supported bridge, or option is you can do this pose without support. We inhale, lift the hips up. So we're opening up out through the thoracic spine, that middle part of the spine in this one. So working on our strength here as well. Feel like your thigh bones are pushing forward and your heels are pushing back. Lower your hips all the way down to the earth. Draw your knees in towards your chest. You can keep your head on your mat or you can lift it up and draw your head in towards your knees. You can bring your hands, wrap them around and draw everything in nice and tight. This might feel really good, or you may want to have your head back on your mat and you may want to have more of a loose hold, and maybe you're just rocking your knees from side to side, just massaging out through the spine. Try to feel your entire spine flat on your mat when you come to center. So no arching. Let's do one more recline twist. One more twist, which is reclined. Bring your knees over to the right. Reach out long, palms facing down. Maybe look over the opposite shoulder to your knees. Maybe close the eyes. Back to center, roll gently over to the other side. Coming back to center, hug everything in nice and tight. And just one more move before we come into Shavasana. Bring your feet down to your mat, knees are bent, and then walk your feet to the outside edges of your mat and bend your knees in together. Bring your arms above your head, maybe touch your elbows. You can just stay here, feel a nice stretch out through the front of your body, and you will feel your back has arched, and that's fine. Or you may just want to bend your knees gently from side to side and windscreen wiping your legs. Try not to feel too rigid through your torso. You can move. Get blood flowing back through the body. Even drop your knees down and then over with a little bit of spinal rotation again. It helps keep the spine nice and healthy and mobile. And when you're ready, coming into Shavasana, so you spread your legs nice and long on the mat, toes flock out to the sides, arms come alongside you with your palms facing up. Make yourself as warm as possible here. If you want to put a blanket on you, and grab your top or whatever you can. And closing the eyes, relaxing out through the entire body. Just letting your body feel all the benefits of all those stretches and poses we've done. Nice natural breathing. Feel free to stay here for as long as you like. I would recommend a minimum of 5 minutes. I'm just going to close the practice for us before Ari wakes up. But when I pick him up out of the cot, I should feel amazing because I've just done all this lovely yoga for my back. So stay where you are in Shavasana, hopefully. I'd like to take a moment to thank you for choosing to practice with me today. And bow your head over your fingertips. Namaste.